Well, we got some surprising news hours leading up to the Bulls vs Cavs game tonight that Alex Caruso was going to be available for the game, which, yes, we had been receiving positive news that was trending in that direction of Caruso returning, where he had been cleared for full contact practice, but you kind of expected that it would be a few more days for Caruso to get his conditioning back up before he would be available to play in a game. Like, I figured we would see him at the earliest on Monday against the Kings, but sure enough, Alex Caruso, ever since getting thrown to the ground after being grabbed midair by Grayson Allen, made his return to the court tonight. And despite being on a minutes restriction, although he still played 29 minutes, you could see the immediate impact that he has on this Bulls team and their overall energy and the defensive edge that they play with. Now, with the positive news of Caruso returning, it was followed up with the announcement that Zach Lavine would be out of the lineup due to that lingering knee soreness that he's been having, which it doesn't sound like this is going to be a long-term absence. As Billy Donovan mentioned earlier, they're basically going to be treating Zach's health on a game-by-game basis, depending on how he's feeling, how much the swelling is actually occurring in his knee at a given time. Donovan did say in the pre-game press conference that his knee's not necessarily regressing, but that's just something that he has to manage, which is somewhat concerning because we already know that Zach is likely not going to be 100% for the rest of the season. But even with that, he's been available to play despite all of that. And now knowing that Zach is more or less going to be a game time decision for the rest of the year isn't ideal for your all-star player, because we didn't know Zach was going to be out of the game until a few hours before. He wasn't listed as questionable or doubtful or anything like that. But again, hopefully it doesn't mean that Zach is going to miss considerable time. It was more so to give Zach some added rest, and when you had Caruso back into the lineup, it allowed the Bulls a little more room in terms of their overall depth to enable Zach to sit out this game. But it was good news followed by not so great news. But either way, the Bulls got the win, and that's what's important. And they got a win against a Cavs team who they are fighting against for positioning in the playoffs. This win puts the Bulls in sole position of the 4 seed, a half a game ahead of the Celtics, and now 3 full games ahead of the Cavs. And technically, they're actually tied with the Sixers, but a little bit of a difference in terms of win percentage for that 3 spot. Now, you guys might have seen in my community posting that I was not going to be doing a post-game video shortly after the game as I usually do, but rather having it uploaded this morning. And that's because I was watching the game with some friends and wanted to hang out with them after it, which I haven't been able to do recently because of COVID. But either way, I am recording this now at near midnight. So despite the fact that this won't be going live until the morning, since I doubt many people are going to be watching this into the middle of the night, but as I'm going through this game, I'm still going to be referring to it as tonight. So just a little call out for that. Now, I wanted to start with Alex Caruso because, look, I know Caruso gets a ton of recognition. He's a fan favorite. And I know some people are going to say, dude, why are you praising Caruso so much, but you don't focus on the true stars of the team? Which isn't true, because I do at least try to give an accurate and broad representation of the players and the team across the actual roster. But here's the thing about Alex Caruso that I think gets overlooked by so many people in the league, and more specifically, his impact on the Bulls. And that's just how differently this team looks in terms of their overall energy and tenacity when he's in the lineup. Like, there's just a different vibe, a feeling, a sentiment for how this team looks and plays when Caruso is in. It's not even just the energy. It's also the team chemistry, the bonding, the guys looking happy and having fun when he is in. Now, I'm not saying that's all because of Caruso, because part of it is just the team finally starting to get healthy again and finally getting their guys back, even though they didn't have Lavine tonight. But the catalyst in all of this has been Alex Caruso. Like, the Bulls held the Cavs to under 100 points tonight. The last time that they were able to do that, holding their opponent to under 100 points, was against the Bucks on January 21st. And yeah, you guessed it, that was the last time Caruso played, the game in which he got the hard foul from Grayson Allen. The Bulls forced 14 turnovers from the Cavs and scored 21 points on said turnovers, which was the highest that they have been able to do that since the All-Star break. And they also scored 19 fast break points, which was the most that they've been able to do since February 7th. This was according to Rob Schaefer of NBC Sports Chicago. And above all, this was the Bulls' best defensive game in terms of rating that they have had since Caruso and Lonzo Ball were both in the lineup. For a team that was top 5 in defense to start the season, that then fell off to the bottom 10 after losing Caruso, says all you need to know about Caruso's defensive impact, but also his point of attack defense that has enabled the Bulls to get points quickly in transition, something that they have been struggling with as they had primarily been just playing in the half court with DeRozan facilitating the offense. Caruso finished the game with 11 points, 4 assists, and 4 steals, right back to his old trick, snatching steals at the highest rate per 36 minutes in the league. And it was great to finally have him back in the lineup, and also not even missing a beat despite being out for 6 weeks. He did add, though, that he got gassed towards the end of the game and thought that Io did a better job on Darius Garland than he did, which leads me into Io because he was phenomenal on both ends of the floor tonight, particularly in the way that he handled Darius Garland. Like, I know Garland started heating up towards the end of the game and ultimately finished with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists, but Garland for a period of time was 2 for 15 from the floor and could not penetrate the basket with Io's superb defense in locking him down. But it wasn't just the defensive effort from Io tonight, he was also solid on offense as well, taking high percentage shots, excellent decision making. He finished the game with 17 points on 7 for 10 shooting, got his 3-point shot going down as well, shooting 3 for 4 from deep. He also had 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. This kid is without a doubt going to be making an all-rookie team this year, which I never thought I would be able to say that going into the season. Now, you also have to give credit to Coby White for his effort in this game, because despite not having the best scoring night for him, only 19 points, couldn't really find a stroke, shot 4 for 11 from the field, but he was contributing in other ways, particularly on the playmaking front. He finished the game with a team-high 7 assists, he also had 7 rebounds, and he also had 2 steals. I've got to say, Coby has been looking so much better defensively in recent games. Like, he's gotten considerably better with his lateral quickness in staying in front of his man and also contesting shots without fouling. Coby didn't have a single foul tonight, but still played very well and very aggressively. Then Vucevic had himself a nice game. Still not the best shooting, but he did finally hit a couple threes, and he was also solid on the defensive end in guarding Mobley and outworking him for rebounds. Vuce finished the game with 20 points on 9 for 19 shooting and had 14 rebounds. Javonte Green, one of my favorite players on this team, does all of those little things. He was crashing the glass tonight with 8 rebounds, and he hit some big threes when the Bulls needed it. He finished the game with 12 points. And then, of course, DeMar DeRozan. Not the best shooting night, and to be honest, he probably took more shots than he needed to, and probably did so because Zach was out of the lineup and felt that he needed to take the majority of the offensive burden. But DeMar still managed to score 25 points on 9 for 26 shooting, which isn't the best. But he also had 4 rebounds and 6 assists. Now look, I know the Cavs were shorthanded tonight. They didn't have Jared Allen and Lauri Markkanen, but come on now, the Bulls are without Zach Lavine. And yeah, still without Lonzo Ball. So I don't want to hear from Cavs fans going at us saying that this should have been an easy win. Like, no, it's never going to be an easy win when you don't have Zach Lavine. Did it help that 2 of their bigger guys were out of the lineup for a Bulls team that doesn't really match up well against their size? Sure. But the Bulls really won this game with their defensive edge, their energy, and keeping up the pace in transition. The Bulls held the Cavs to 41% shooting and 20% from 3, which I can't even remember the last time the Bulls held their opponent to that kind of offensive output. And they out-rebounded the Cavs not only in total, but also in offensive rebounds, which the Bulls have struggled with recently. Tristan Thompson was another solid piece on the boards tonight, by the way. Just wanted to add that. So anyway, a great win for the Bulls. They make it 2 in a row and look to make it 3 straight against the Kings in Sacramento on Monday night. I'll have my weekly preview video out tomorrow morning. Until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.